This video helps you to understand the FinBox BankConnect integration process. We will understand some basic terms associated with BankConnect and then look at a user journey and understand the integration flow. So let's begin. In BankConnect, every user is referred to as an entity. It can be a person or a company. Now, this entity can have different bank accounts. These are called as account. Now, in every bank account, there can be different statements which can be in a different time period. These are referred to as statements. FinBox assigns a unique identifier to each one of them. These are called as the entity ID, the account ID, and the statement ID. Let's say you want to give your own identifier to refer to a given entity. This is what is called as a link ID. A valid link ID can be a loan application number or any unique identifier for the given user. Now let's look at a sample user journey and see how you can go ahead in uploading a bank statement for the customer. At the same time, later on, fetch the enriched transactions for them. Now the user, through some journey, can submit the PDF statements to your server. And then your server can make API calls to FinBox BankConnect REST APIs. As soon as you submit a bank statement, it gives you the identity information like the account holder name, account number, and also the time period, which you can use to check whether the given person is a valid person, and also if the statement has been submitted for the period that you require it for. At the same time, you also get an entity ID, which will be important later on to fetch the enriched transactions. The, the other journey would be to have your user submit the PDF or the net banking credentials through the FinBox client SDK. Your web application needs to just pass a link ID while initializing this SDK. Now, this FinBox client SDK will talk to the FinBox BankConnect REST APIs, and as soon as the upload happens or is complete, you'll receive a callback or a redirect to your page with an entity ID. Now, let's look at the last step, which is fetching the enriched data. Now, your server has an entity ID. There are two ways you can go ahead with fetching. The first way is you can poll the FinBox BankConnect REST API every 2 seconds. By doing so, you get a field called as progress. And with progress, you can know whether the process has been completed or not. As soon as it's completed, you can go ahead with step B, which is fetching the transactions, salary, and the other enriched information. The other way of integration would be to configure a webhook. If you configure a webhook, you don't really have to poll every 2 seconds. As soon as the process is complete, the FinBox BankConnect will make an API call to your server. To make sure this process works well, you have to ensure that your servers are always up. As a backup, you can always have the polling mechanism in place. In this method also, as soon as you get the webhook, you can fetch the transactions, salary, or rest of the information through the APIs. I hope you have understood the integration flow. Thank you for listening.